So to finish off the notes, I actually want to do number 7, but then also do a few other of my own extra examples. So number 7, I already drew a circle, but we have a circle and it's P, which means P is the center. We've got the length of the arc length of QR, so we have some sort of arc QR is 2 pi. So this arc length is 2 pi inches. Okay. The measure of QR, which will also be the same as the interior angle, or the central angle, is 120 degrees. I put the little degree symbol there because they forgot it. We need to find the radius. Okay, so we actually have to go a little backwards in this problem. So we know arc length is the same thing as theta over 360 multiplied by, I'm going to put C for circumference. So we have theta right here. We also have our arc length. We don't have circumference, but that's not actually what we're looking for. We're looking for the radius. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a little substitution as well. I know that the circumference is the same thing as 2 pi times the radius. So rather than putting C right there, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that as 2 pi r. And then I'm going to go ahead and plug numbers in. So I know our arc length is 2 pi. Our theta is 120 degrees over 360. And we're multiplying that by 2 pi r. And you can kind of go in whatever order you want. Something I've noticed right now is that there's a 2 pi on both sides. So I can go ahead and just divide both sides by 2 pi. And that gets you 1 on both sides. So, and 1 times anything is itself. So this is just 1 is equal to 120 over 360 r. Which, by the way, 120 over 360, you can do your quick little trick. And in fact, we've seen this one. 12 divided by 36 also is just simplifies down to 1/3. So 1 is equal to 1/3 times r. And so I can just multiply both sides by 3 or 3 over 1 to get rid of those. And you get that your r, your radius, is 3, and the unit would be inches. So maybe I should have done this before, but there's number 7 in a nutshell. Let's just kind of work through going backwards on it a little bit. So I've made up some problems. So this one we're going to find circumference. So once again, just to recall, your arc length is always theta over 360 multiplied by your circumference. In this case, we've got our theta. We've got the central angle, which is also the arc measure. We also have our arc length right here of 8.8. So we can go ahead and just do a direct substitution of 8.8 equals 88 over 360 multiplied by our circumference. So fractions can be a little tricky, and you don't even actually have to really simplify this fraction to solve this problem. You can, and let me write it down right here. I'm going to give myself a little space. In order to get rid of a fraction off of that C, you can divide both sides by 88 over 360, or you can multiply by the reciprocal, which is what I like to do. So I'm going to go ahead and just do 360, divide it by 88, and then multiply that by 8.8, because that will get rid of this. You'll just get 1. When I say get rid of it, it just equals 1. So you end up with just C on that side. And you get C is 36, in this case, centimeters. So let's see another one where we have to go kind of backwards a little bit. So we're going to find a radius this time. That's actually not one I want to do because we already did one like that. That's like number 7 where you find a radius. So let's just do this one. So this one we're going to find theta instead, where we've got the radius and we've got the arc length. So remember, arc length is theta over 360 multiplied by circumference. But since we have the radius, I'm going to write it this way. 360 times 2 pi r, because they are the same thing. Circumference is 2 pi r. And then I'm going to go ahead and plug things in. So I have 4 pi is equal to theta over 360 multiplied by 2 pi times 5. So theta over 360, 2 pi times 5 is 10 pi. So once again, you can kind of go in whatever order you want. I like to get rid of, I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of this 10 pi. 4 divided by 10 is 2/5, or you can write 0.4. I don't know why I changed colors, so sorry about that. And then just multiply by 360. So theta would equal 360 times 0.4, which is 144 degrees. So those are just a few problems to show you how to go backwards through the process.